Friends, we're all back together for the next episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robert. My wife is a type 1, Kelly, and my son now is newly diagnosed type 1, and he's 5.
If you're living with type 1 diabetes, the After Dark collection from the Juicebox Podcast is the only place to hear the stories that no one else talks about. From drugs to depression, self-harm, trauma, addiction, and so much more. Go to juiceboxpodcast.com, up in the menu, and click on After Dark. There you'll see a full list of all of the After Dark episodes. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by the twiist AID system powered by Tidepool that features the twiist loop algorithm, which you can target to a glucose level as low as 87. Learn more at twiist.com/juicebox. That's twist with 2 eyes.com/juicebox. Get precision insulin delivery with a target range that you choose at twiist.com/juicebox. That's TWIIST.com/juicebox. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by the Contour NextGen blood glucose meter. Learn more and get started today at contournext.com/juicebox. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Medtronic Diabetes and their MiniMed 780G system, designed to help ease the burden of diabetes management. Imagine fewer worries about missed boluses or miscalculated carbs, thanks to meal detection technology and automatic correction doses. Learn more and get started today at medtronicdiabetes.com/juicebox.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robert. My wife is a type 1, Kelly, and my son now is newly diagnosed type 1, and he's 5.
He's 5. Wow. How old was he when he was diagnosed?
We actually, thanks to Kelly, so she was diagnosed in 2012, or not 2012, when was it? When she was 12. She actually caught Madden when he was really early on with stage 1. One night he pissed through his diaper, and she thought, well, that's weird. He didn't drink that much. She tested his blood sugar, and I think it was 253, if I recall correctly. And she thought, well, that's weird. I'm going to take him into the doctor. And then they did a antibodies test and found 2 antibodies, and that he was spilling glucose into his urine. And so he actually got tracked from the age of 2 until about a month and a half ago, officially hit full diagnosis.
So let me kind of pick through it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You meet your wife. How old is she? How old are you?
Let's see. I was 18. She was 19.
And how old are you now?
31 and 32.
Okay. And you got married at what age?
Oh, let's see. It would have been 9 years ago. Shoot, I don't know, 21, 22, somewhere in there.
I think you're supposed to remember that off the top of your head, but yeah.
Nah.
That's fine. Watch this. I was married on August 3rd, 1996. See that? I always say this.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was married March 7th, 2016. I'm just not that fast at math.
I don't think it's math when you're talking about dates, but I hear what you're saying. My point is, you've been with her for a very long time. She's had diabetes for that entire time, right?
Correct.
Right. And so you've been living with it for a while. So from your perspective, what is her type 1 diabetes from your perspective?
Ooh, how do you mean?
What do you see as her life? Like, if you had to describe her life with type 1, what would you describe it as?
Currently, just another day in the life. I mean, there's not really much difference. I will say I have seen, in my opinion, from my point of view, a pretty amazing transformation. So when I met Kelly, we both actually started working at Super Target, and that's where I met her. I still remember the first time I saw her. It was like it was out of a movie. It's fantastic.
Oh, how so? Tell me.
So I was walking to go clock in, and she had just walked out of the break room area where she had just clocked in and legitimately flipped her hair a little bit. And right there, it was done. I was locked in. And then I was nervous for like a month to even talk to her. And then I remember I went through her line. She was doing checkout. I think I bought like a Snickers bar I didn't even want, and went to walk away. And I was like, hey, can I get your number? And then it just started this crazy life that we have.
Wow. She said yes?
Surprisingly. I don't know why.
She was probably like, I could use that Snicker if I get low. This is awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. So when I met Kelly, she managed it to stay alive, but didn't really put a whole lot of effort into it, for lack of a better term. And then when she ended up getting pregnant with our oldest, Bailey, who is now 10, it was like a light switch. Her A1C, and I could be wrong on this, I want to say it was around 11 and a half when she got pregnant with Bailey. And by the time Bailey was born, it was down in like the 5s and 6s. And she's pretty well maintained that 6 mark ever since.
When she's living with like an 11 and you guys are dating and married, do you understand, like, I can't ask her what her understanding was of it, but like, do you understand that there's a lot of ceiling to do better and that this could be dangerous for her and is actually dangerous for her?
Now, yes. At that time, had no idea. Okay. I knew nothing about type 1 diabetes. This is a shameful thing on my part. But even after we got married, it was her thing. I pretty well stayed out of it unless she either got low or was insanely high.
Do you know why? Was it conscious? Were you like, oh, this is her thing, she doesn't want me involved in it? Or were you just happy not to have to be involved? Do you know?
It was more of I tried to just respect her space. And in hindsight, years in it, I should have been more involved with it to just have an understanding and be a part of it. But she never said, hey, or never asked, I should say, do you have an interest in learning, or I would like you to learn this? And I tried to just respect her privacy, even though we were married and had been together forever.
Have you talked about it since then?
Absolutely.
Were you doing the right thing? Or like, is that what she wanted? I guess is my question.
I've never asked her that. We've talked about it a lot in other aspects, but I've never asked her like, hey, did you want me involved or did you not?
I just heard myself the other day, which is a thing that doesn't get to happen for most people. I heard myself having a conversation about something, and it just reminds me now that being alive for so long has taught me that no matter what I'm experiencing, the people around me are having a different experience. And that, you can be doing something and just think like, this is the right thing to do. I know it is. It feels good. I'm looking at everybody seems good with it. And you ask somebody else later and they said, no, I wish you would have done that. Or I wish you wouldn't have done that. Or that made me feel this way. Or like, you never really know how other people are experiencing the same exact thing as you. Just so odd. But, so I'm like, you're saying like good faith, like, hey, this is a thing. She's had it for a long time. She says she's doing okay. Like everything seems fine. I'd like to give her space. Like, what if she was sitting over there thinking, God, like, I wish he'd like jump in with this. Or maybe she's thinking, the guy's handling this exactly right. This is why I love the guy. So yeah, you don't know.
No. And guess what? When we get off this call, I'm going to go outside and ask her.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go start a fight right now. That'd be awesome.
Oh, hey, at this point, I look for the fights.
To keep things fresh.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a Friday. You could ruin the whole weekend if you tried hard enough.
Let's go. With Scott's blessing, I hereby ruin Easter weekend.
I don't know where the eggs are. Ask your mom.
She would kill me.
It's awesome. I've recorded with her recently. Is that right?
Correct. Like a week and a half ago or so.
But I don't think we spoke about you. Does that surprise you?
Not at all.
Okay. She's moving along. She gets pregnant, or you guys, I don't know if you do it on purpose or not, but one way or the other, she's pregnant. How old is she, do you think then? Like, what year is that?
Let's see. I want to say she was 20 and I was 19.
Oh, wow. So and this is not...
Or she was almost 21. I was 20. They was right there. It was not very long.
Robert, am I right to say that this wasn't you guys going like, you know what we should do? We should make a baby?
No, I was in the shower and somebody decided to climb in with me one day.
She got to stop flipping her hair around.
Honestly.
Listen, people got to take responsibility for where their hair goes. So do you guys get married because she's pregnant?
No, we actually just remained dating for a while. It was kind of chaotic. A little backstory on her pregnancy and whatnot. It was really complicated. She had all sorts of issues, preeclampsia, obviously type 1. Ironically, you might be able to answer this. Do most women, when they are pregnant, have really good control of blood sugars and what have you?
Oh, gosh. It's seasonal, like within the pregnancy.
Fair.
Yeah, there's a time where it's easier. Then there's a time where your insulin needs ramp and go crazy. And then some women report that literally after giving birth to the placenta, their blood sugars go like right back to normal again. And then breastfeeding can mess it up. It's a roller coaster of hormonal impacts, really.
So I kind of assumed, being, everybody's different, but with Kelly, all 3 pregnancies, you would never guess that she was type 1. Yes, she still took a little bit of insulin here and there, but it was wild. Like her blood sugar is just a virtual flat line the entire time. No issues at all. Yeah, wild.
And it's super interesting. And so that first time, she's 20 in that, you guys are in that age there, right? 20, 21, 19, right in there. And she's been, like you said, double-digit A1Cs, staying alive, but not doing well for herself. What do you think changed her? Like, you were there, right? Like, what did you see that flipped the switch?
I was not actually there. A lot of it. We have a wonderfully wild life. She has talked about recently that really it came down to her endocrinologist asking her, hey, essentially, do you want your child to live? I mean, that's very crude, but hey, if you don't get this under control, that your baby's not going to survive. And that was the light switch.
Okay.
That changed it all. And now ever since, she's had masterful control of everything, and it's been awesome.
Were you at Lollapalooza, Robert, during this, or?
Oh, no, I was in Cancun on Spring Britain. No, I'm just kidding. No, we had a really, really rough, I don't want to say childhood because we weren't kids, we were adults, but when we were first together, the first 2.5 years or so, pretty rough. Even the first couple years of marriage, pretty rough due to a lot of mistakes I made. No, I never cheated on her, never did anything like that. Just said a lot of dumb stuff. Mm-hmm. And hell, we can dissect that if you want. I hear that you like to solve people's problems, but
I'm just trying to make a podcast, Robert. If you feel better when it's over, that's a bonus.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
But no, all said and done, I missed a lot of when she was pregnant with Bailey. My mom also had stage 4 cancer at the time and advanced. So I was kind of between that and Kelly, and there was a lot going on. But
yeah. I have to imagine if you and your girlfriend are pregnant at that age, not on purpose, it probably turns chaotic very quickly after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine not. Like, shower sex was probably the last great thing that happened for a while.
For a little bit, yeah.
At some point, you pulled your head out of your ass. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get together. It's not easy, but you're saying that at some point, like, you got through all that. Like, there's a rocky part in the beginning of the marriage, but like, there's a point where you find like happiness and you know how to do it all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but eventually.
Yeah, that was like 1.5 years ago. We've been married almost 10 years.
You just figured it out.
I just figured it out.
Yeah. I started acting like an adult 4 years ago, just in case you're wondering.
Well, there you go.
Are you being serious? Would you characterize her as putting up with you until that point?
Yes, absolutely. There is no reason that she should have stayed married to me to this long. Again, I'm not a bad person, great husband, all that, just emotionally very dumb.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
What brought you around?
Kelly threatening to divorce me, finally.
She's like, you got to figure out how to be an adult or I'm going to...
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Fix your shit or I'm out. I said, all right, everything's fixed. Got it.
Don't worry about it. I know what to do. Now, is it that simple? Robert, did you know what to do and you just were like, it's easier to screw around? Or did she need to tell you what it was? Or did you have to go seek out some help somewhere else? ContourNext.com/juicebox. That's the link you'll use to find out more about the Contour NextGen blood glucose meter. When you get there, there's a little bit at the top. You can click right on blood glucose monitoring. I'll do it with you. Go to meters, click on any of the meters. I'll click on the NextGen, and you're going to get more information. It's easy to use and highly accurate. SmartLight provides a simple understanding of your blood glucose levels. And of course, with second chance sampling technology, you can save money with fewer wasted test strips. As if all of that wasn't enough, the Contour NextGen also has a compatible app for an easy way to share and see your blood glucose results. ContourNext.com/juicebox. And if you scroll down at that link, you're going to see things like a buy now button. You could register your meter after you purchase it. Or what is this? Download a coupon. Oh, receive a free Contour NextGen blood glucose meter. Do tell. ContourNext.com/juicebox. Head over there now. Get the same accurate and reliable meter that we use. Today's episode is sponsored by Medtronic Diabetes, who is making life with diabetes easier with the MiniMed 780G system. The MiniMed 780G automated insulin delivery system anticipates, adjusts, and corrects every 5 minutes. Real-world results show people achieving up to an 80% time in range with recommended settings without increasing lows. But of course, individual results may vary. The 780G works around the clock so you can focus on what matters. Have you heard about Medtronic's extended infusion set? It's the first and only infusion set labeled for up to a 7-day wear. This feature is repeatedly asked for, and Medtronic has delivered. 97% of people using the 780G reported that they could manage their diabetes without major disruptions of sleep. They felt more free to eat what they wanted, and they felt less stress with fewer alarms and alerts. You can't beat that. Learn more about how you can spend less time and effort managing your diabetes by visiting medtronicdiabetes.com/juicebox.
I've actually sought out help, whether that be personal counseling. We've been seeing a marriage counselor for 3 years, something like that now.
Mm-hmm.
I go to various meetings for various issues, just trying to work on it. Now, in hindsight, to my benefit, she told me years ago what I needed to change and fix, but it just went in one ear, out the other ear. And it wasn't until that 1.5 years, 2 years ago that she finally nailed it home.
What were those things?
Let's see. So I guess a little bit more backstory as well to circle back. We didn't get married until after I joined the Army. When Bailey was 6 months old, I was unemployed. I had been fired the day that Bailey was born because I requested time off from my job. It was a whole cluster.
Mm.
And first 6 months, Kelly basically floated everything. And then I joined the Army just to provide for my daughter. I was gone for almost a year before I saw them again between various trainings and what have you. We ended up getting married at a courthouse, unfortunately, before I deployed. And then I was gone another almost a year and a half before I was actually home and steadily in home for a while. So it was pretty rocky at the start. And now I don't remember what your question was.
My question was, what were the things that you had to fix?
Oh, that's right. Okay. So all of that being said, over the years, unfortunately, and it got really bad, my second deployment was a pretty bad porn addiction. I'm pretty ashamed to say that, but it was pretty bad.
Okay.
I came home from my second deployment and she found, browser history, if you will, that was from, just a couple days of being home. And at that point even said, hey, that needs to stop now or I'm out. And I didn't really believe her. To me at that time, it was just kind of this is a normal thing, whatever. She's just overreacting. And I didn't really let it sink into what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then for about 3.5 or so years, 3 years after that, I hit it. And finally she found it one night and then I lied about it. And it wasn't the porn issue. It was the lying about it. And that's when she said, yeah, you can get out. You need to get fixed. I'm done. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And the first and only time I've ever begged in my life, I begged her not to go anywhere. She said, you need to find some meetings or something, get some help, because it's not going to fly. And so from that day on, started going to SAA, and I just hit 1 year of being free of that nonsense. And
awesome. Well, good for you.
Yeah. Turned my life around, man.
It's crazy. I mean, it might not sound crazy to you, but it feels crazy to me. In the last 30 days, you're now the second guy that's told me this. And when he told me, I was like, get out of here. And he said, no, it ruined his marriage and everything else. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, and I thought to myself, I'll never hear that again. And now here we are. So what does a porn addiction look like?
Oh boy. We're talking 2 or 3 times a day of watching content and whatnot, whether I was here at home with family, lock myself in the bathroom type deal, being at work, using a stall at work, whatever it might be. Like it was bad. And I'm ashamed beyond all belief to admit that and even say it, but it's reality. It's what happened.
You're not watching it like War and Peace. You're watching it like functionally, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha. You're not like, oh, I love the plot of this one. Let us settle in and get through this again.
I wonder what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh boy.
There's no way to know. How old are you now?
31. I just hit 31 in February.
Okay. You're a couple of generations removed from me, like as far as how we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
What's the attraction of digital over live? Because Kelly wasn't telling you can't be with me, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
What's the draw?
So there's a couple of things with it. Firstly, I mean, my wife and I are great now, but when we were younger, truth be told, I'm just a terrible communicator when it comes to personal things, especially on the emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently learned how to do all that stuff. So we never really communicated. Therefore, the sex life was kind of not where both of us wanted it. For example, I was going for a little bit more often, whereas Kelly is pretty content with not very often and works with me. It's mind blowing either way. And truthfully, the addiction part started really bad during my second deployment. It started with as almost like a sleep therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the schedule that I was on and the routines we had and all that, like it was really tough to get sleep and or fall asleep. And then it kind of just, it snowballed over the year that I was deployed. And then after that, for a couple of years, it was pretty bad by the end.
Yeah. You were using it like a sleeping pill at first.
At first.
Right.
And then it just became routine and everything. And truth be told, and I've told Kelly this too, I was glad that she found it in the end, though it almost ruined my marriage, because for about 2 years, I internally was battling with depression and stuff due to it because I wanted to break that and I couldn't. And then her saying, I'm out, was when I say it genuinely just, it broke.
Shocked you,
it was done. Yeah. It shocked to the system and I was out.
So for 2 years, you wanted it to end, but you just couldn't find a way to make it end.
Correct.
Right. Wow. Does it escalate? Like, this is a question I asked the last person too, and I'm gonna ask it to you too. Like, does what it takes for it to work, like, does the dose need to change? You know what I'm saying? Does your search history get weirder and weirder as time goes on? The brand new twiist insulin pump offers peace of mind with unmatched personalization and allows you to target a glucose level as low as 87. There are more reasons why you might be interested in checking out Twiist, but just in case that one got you, twiist.com/juicebox. That's twist with 2 eyes.com/juicebox. You can target glucose levels between 87 and 180. It's completely up to you. In addition to precision insulin delivery that's made possible by Twiist's design, Twiist also offers you the ability to edit your carb entries even after you've bolused. This gives the Twiist Loop algorithm the best information to make its decisions with. And the Twiist Loop algorithm lives on the pump, so you don't have to stay next to your phone for it to do its job. Twiist is coming very soon, so if you'd like to learn more or get on the wait list, go to twiist.com/juicebox. That's twist with 2 eyes.com/juicebox. Links in the show notes, links at juiceboxpodcast.com.
No. Luckily, I was not somebody that had to get into the
like ramp it up.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yep. Because hey, some of my soldiers in the past, the things they talk about was just wild.
Okay.
No, but there were days when 30, 45 minutes is just, there's no desire to do it, but like it had to be done type thing. Does that make sense?
I mean, I'm hearing you. Yeah. Like, but you could like, if like babysitter brunette was your thing, like you could handle that the whole time. Like you didn't have to start saying babysitter brunette on a Ferris wheel or like that kind of thing. Yeah, I got you.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Gotcha. Gosh, it's an interesting problem. Do you see a connection between it now that you're free of it, between it and just regular social media? Does it have the same draw as social media, or is it different because it has the sexual, like the physical touch aspect to it as well?
Well, I'm not really a big social media person.
Okay, so you're not overtaken by Instagram or TikTok or something. Like you could do that, and you wouldn't get caught up in it.
No.
Okay, it's more about the act than it is about
correct.
Yeah, than the scrolling or being on your phone or something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. Did you ever feel weird handing other people your phone because it was also your sex device?
Oh God, yeah. Anytime that Kelly would be like, hey, can I see your phone real quick? Immediately, you always see those memes of somebody sweating or whatever. It's like, oh God, what's going to happen? Did I clear this? Did I clear that? Did I delete this? Did I delete that? Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Now, don't care now.
Now you're okay now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I also was thinking, like, you ever been in a place and you like check out and like you're like reading a code and like the person that registers like, here, just give me it. I'll just read it off there. And you're like, I'm like, I don't know if I washed my hands like recently. Like this is my phone. It's filthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you should be. And they just grab it. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, anyway, okay. I'm asking a serious question. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I just,
yeah.
Like, if you're handing it to her and you're like, oh, sweetie, listen, don't take the phone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Internally, yes. Yeah. I would never say it out loud because that was a red flag.
Yeah. But that was part of it too, though, right? Like part of the depression part, I would imagine.
Correct. Like, oh, absolutely.
That you're hiding things constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if you would have went to her and said, this is a problem for me, but I don't want to get rid, like imagine you didn't want to get rid of it. could you say to her, can we incorporate this into our life? Do you think she'd be like, oh God, weirdo, get away from me? Or do you think she would have said, well, if this is something that's important to you, I can talk to you about it?
Now, yes. That being said, I want nothing to do with it still.
Right.
Almost ruined my life. Never.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I only say that because there was at one point, shortly after she found it and told me she was done, that she even said, she's like, it wasn't the porn that was the issue. In fact, I was actually batting around the idea of like exploring it together. It's the fact that you lied to me about it blatantly to my face and then tried to lie about the lie. That's where the issue was lying at.
Gotcha. Did you have any other addictions? Do you, alcohol, drugs, anything like that? Nothing.
Never. I've never drank a day in my life. I've never done any drugs in my life. Nope.
Do you think if you were born 20 years sooner, you would have had a pile of magazines somewhere? Or do you think that this is a function of the time?
I would say yes, only because my father had a pile of things.
Oh.
In fact, that is partially what ruined his marriage to my mother.
And you knew about it?
Unfortunately.
His thing might have almost ruined your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have boys?
I have one boy and two girls.
You might have broken a cycle here.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
And unlike my father and his father, if you will, I will actually talk to my son about like, hey, listen up, man. This will ruin your life. Don't let it.
It's interesting. Man, it really is. I mean, the access is unprecedented. I mean, for all the good you can do with it, the access, there's obviously the opposite problems. This morning, even like I told you before we started, I'm interviewing a tight end from the Chiefs later today. I know what I want to talk to him about. Like I have a vibe already. I've got some questions that people send in. I know what I want to do, but I still thought like, let me get background. And I just opened up, like while I was taking out the dogs this morning, I put my headphones in, I opened up ChatGPT and I said, I'm interviewing Noah Gray from the Kansas City Chiefs today, and I want to learn more about him. And then I had a full-on conversation with my phone for 10 minutes.
It's wild.
It is. Like, it really is crazy. But, for every moment like that where it's valuable, like, I guess, there can be others. So, okay.
There's a lot of others. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you did this, and it's an amazing thing. How many years do you think it took you to, like, get through the process?
So that's the thing, too. Like, it wasn't really a problem from the years of about, let's say, 2017 till 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That 3-4 year time frame. And then it was during the first deployment and then the years following. So I would say a total of, we'll say 4 years. 4 years total where it was really, really bad.
And then a year for you to go through like treatment for it.
Correct.
Did your insurance cover that?
It's all free.
Oh, is it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, like AA kind of a vibe?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Wow, that's great. So like a public meeting helped you with it.
Correct. I've been going to this meeting for, like I said, I just hit a year. It's all free. It's awesome.
Is it in person?
It's all over Zoom.
Okay.
There's people from all over the world that join in.
Do you see them, or do they stay private and you see like somebody leading the meeting?
It's your choice. You can choose to have camera on or off. They encourage camera on just because it gives that more homely feel, I guess, or like the actual community feel, but you can turn it off if you prefer.
When you saw other people, did you think, like, was it one of those things where you're like, wow, I can't believe like how shockingly normal everyone is here? Like, cause I would imagine you'd kind of worry that you're about to turn on a camera to find out you're part of a very strange group, but then you realize, no, these are just like everybody like me.
Yeah, I definitely went in. I mean, the very first meeting, for example, I did not turn on my camera. I said, hello. And that was it. Was just nervous. Didn't know what to expect in anything. Second and third meeting, same thing. And then finally, the fourth meeting, I actually spoke up. But I anticipated, seeing the, stereotypical, 45-year-old male who hasn't left his mother's basement and, whatever. And it wasn't. It was just normal people living normal lives with careers and families and just normal people looking for help.
It's really interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that exists. What is you want to plug where somebody could go get help for that?
It's just Sex Addicts Anonymous. So they deal with either like sex addiction and or porn addiction. I don't have a plug. I didn't even think to prep that.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Did this help your personal relationship? Like, did it take things to where you wanted it to be, or is it now just a process of building back?
Oh, absolutely. Which, I mean, I don't know if we have enough time in the day to dig all that apart, but yes. I mean, I have never been, and this is going to sound cheesy and cliche, but like I've never been more in love with Kelly. I've never been more, for lack of a better term, obsessed with my wife. I can't take my eyes off of her, where in the past she was a shadow in the background, unfortunately. Our marriage has never been better. I'm 100% dedicated to my wife. I even told her the other days, I'm like, in the past, Kel, I would have said the kids take precedence over you, but you 100% take precedence over the kids, not because I love them, but because you're who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. And eventually the kids will leave home.
These little fuckers are going to leave us. Yeah.
Goddamn right. You sons of...
Yeah, I got to give them all my money and my time and attention, and then they'll abandon us at the end when we're old and we can't walk.
Exactly.
And then they'll say things like, oh, my dad, he's such a pain. Or
Well, trust me, I'm waiting for that day.
And she accepted you back, like, in her heart, you feel like?
We're getting there.
Yeah.
It was not immediate, and she said that, and I said, hey, you take all the time you need. Now, I did caveat that with, Kelly, if 10 years from now you're still holding on to this, or you're still like, we got problems that are not this.
Hit me with a stick when I'm not looking or something, and let's be done.
Usually it's a frying pan, but no, I joke, of course. Nobody calls CPS on us.
Nobody's hitting anyone. Please stop.
Honestly. But yeah, I would say it took a few months, probably 6-7 months before she really would started to open up, at least from my perspective. Mm-hmm. She may have a completely different viewpoint. And now it's almost fully back, if not better than ever.
What do you know how to do now that you didn't know how to do before?
Just communicate.
That's it. Just communicate. Tell people how you feel, not be worried that you're going to be embarrassed by it or that they're going to judge you. Just say it, let it be there.
Pretty much, which is such a crazy thing, because I've always been able to do that with other people. But when it comes to my wife, was never the case.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I just always... I don't have an explanation or a reason. Not a thought.
Just don't want her to judge you or be disappointed in you, maybe, or I'm trying to go through what might motivate me.
Yeah. I mean, I can say you just always had that thought of like, you need to be the perfect husband, if that makes sense, or like the perfect man. And like, I can't show her my flaws. She'll see how flawed I actually am. And that will cause her to want to go find better, which in hindsight is absolutely ridiculous. Not because she can't find better. Definitely can, and I tell her that. Yeah. But like that vulnerability is what now has helped us build that relationship even higher.
And you feel like she appreciates it.
Absolutely.
Did she give it back to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What have you learned about her diabetes in the last year that you didn't know before? And I'm assuming you've got more mental space now to pay attention. Like, so is it a thing that you picked up more about, or? Absolutely.
Like I've picked up more on hers, how to properly, now not in depth as much as how her algorithm works on her pump or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I did have to, this is take this, Kelly, when you listen. I had to use a glucagon on her a few months back, and she's never actually had to use one. So I have a W that she doesn't.
I was like, see, not everyone's perfect on the other side. Somebody had a seizure.
I have saved your life. You're welcome.
Jesus. It's tough to be a boy. It happened right there, like in the house, like.
Yeah, that whole thing. So she woke up, wasn't feeling well. She was kind of down and out. And it was about a day and a half that we were battling her lows, could not keep it up. She couldn't keep anything down. And then one night it was like 5:30-ish in the evening. Finally, I just decided, like, you know what? We're going to try to open this up and just see what happens, because I can't keep her up. She can't stay conscious more than a couple minutes.
Wow.
And then it was like a week before she fully recovered. But now she's good to go.
Was she sick? Did she have an illness?
Yeah. I don't know if it was just the flu or a cold or what happened, but she wasn't feeling well. Like I said, she kind of just the sweats and the shakes and the chills. And then she started throwing up, and then it just kind of didn't stop. Therefore, we couldn't keep the sugar in her system and all the food. And it was a spiral.
You said, I think we should try glucagon.
Yeah. And she'll laugh about this if and when she listens to it, because in the moment, trying to handle 3 kids, 2 dogs, all the stuff, and her, and like just manage it like an idiot, she's virtually unresponsive. And I asked her, like, hey, do you think we should use a glucagon? And as soon as it left my mouth, I was like, you dumbass, just go get it and do it.
Why am I still asking her opinion? Yeah, she's unconscious. I want to say something. That, for anyone listening who's not married, is what it feels like to be married when you're a boy. Honey, what do you think? I don't want to be wrong, is all I'm saying.
Honestly, I know there's an answer.
So the emergent nature of it allowed you to just take the leap.
Yeah, basically. Which in hindsight, I also should have called 911. But like I said, I was trying to do dinner, take care of the kids, take care of her. And I did not inevitably call 911, and I should have. I just managed it here at home. And as soon as she started to come back round, like, she also then started to help me manage her. But
was she seizing, or was she just not like...
No. To my knowledge, at least since we've been together, she's never had a seizure. She just passes out and or loses all functionality. That being said, yeah, I don't think she's ever had a seizure to my knowledge.
Yeah. Can I ask you a weird question? Do you think her desire was to leave you and that you stopped her? Or do you think her desire was to get you to stop because she didn't want you guys to break up?
I think it's a mixture of both. Like I said, there's a lot of past that also built up to that moment. I mean, hell, a week ago, she just threatened divorce with me.
Did you think she meant it?
I would say so in the moment, but then, the next day, I don't think so. I think she was just pissed off about a couple of things that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, nothing to do with me personally, but
just frustration overall.
I think so. Yeah. So, I mean, in short, we had to get our floor replaced, and one of my good friends did it for us. He's very handy with that kind of stuff, but he didn't listen to her and he fucked it up. And so now we're dealing with that.
And she's divorcing you because of that?
Yeah, because I refused to demand the money back type thing. And it's like, I'm trying to work with him on it, but it's kind of just, it's going to cost us more to fix that error than what... A long story. Can
I play devil's advocate here? Is it possible that she feels like she now knows how to get you to do stuff?
Who knows? Probably.
You put your phone down when she said it the last time. So she was probably like, hey, this works. I wonder if I can get my money back for the floor.
You're going to get me in trouble. But yeah, that thought's been there. Not per se just to get the money back, but maybe I can make him do something he doesn't want to, but
you're making me think that like 6 months from now, it's going to be like, I can't believe you didn't weed whack after you cut the grass. I'm going to divorce you if you don't get out there and weed whack.
Yeah. At that point, bye, get out.
No, that's when you'll go, oh, I didn't understand. This is not a real thing anymore. I got you. She's working me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's something
to circle.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I was just going to say to circle back, but hey, if you got another question, go ahead.
No, to circle back.
All of that say free headspace, being more committed and more focused on Kelly and like just the marriage and everything. I definitely have learned more with her. And now that our son is officially, and he's using the Mobi,
mm-hmm.
I am learning all of that as well. And now I'm gathering more of an understanding of how to operate his and handle his, which hopefully translates to hers in the coming years a little bit more efficiently than, my crude knowledge now.
Can I just say tandemdiabetes.com/juicebox. Thank you. Sorry, I got to get the plugs in where I can.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like the Mobi for him?
It's awesome, especially since he's 5 and doesn't stop moving, even in his sleep half the time, I swear.
Yeah.
Being so small and compact, and we have this little fanny pack for him, and he loves it. He tries to help us change his sites all the time. And anytime we're, giving him a bolus or anything or messing with his algorithm, he's on his phone trying to help us do it and learn it and understand it, even at 5 years old. So
nice. Good for him.
He's a champ.
How did he take how did you take his diagnosis? Because now you've lived with Kelly for a long time. Like, yeah, you didn't deep understand it, but you still know how serious it is. So when it happens to your son, how does it strike you?
So her and I have actually talked about this, that both of us had the same reaction of like, oh God, no, please no type deal, because Kelly has, and I mean, both of us have lived through Kelly and the crap she's gone through.
Yeah.
That being said, I am beyond grateful that my wife has been dealing with it for 2+ decades, because her knowledge base is about the same as yours, respectively so.
Yeah. So she's able to help.
It has made the transition very smooth. I couldn't even imagine being a parent with a child and not knowing anything about type 1 and all of a sudden being slapped in the face with it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you didn't know how to be a person, and look where that got to you.
Exactly.
If you could go back to your parents, what would you tell them they should have told you?
All the words. I would, if it was me now, I would smack both of them upside the head and have a lot of very mean, vicious words with my parents.
But once you got after the anger, what would you tell them? Like, hey, look, I'm going to push a reset button and I'm going to go be 8 again. And here's what you need to do.
How about you teach your children how to communicate with everybody, let alone people that are important to them, and not just fight, scream, hit each other and get each other arrested.
That's what you grew up in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly.
That sucks, man. Yeah, it really is terrible. I'm sorry. You
don't
have a lot of chance to break away from a start like that. It's not.
No, I will say, like, not an actual plug, but a plug for my family. Like I have a really, really big family, lots of aunts and uncles and cousins, and they did help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, my dad ended up in jail, I think twice for hitting my mom, but my mom also was a piece of shit and egged him on. Love you, Mom. Hope heaven is great.
Oh my God, is she not here?
No, she died years ago.
Oh, how?
Cancer. She had stage 4 advanced kidney cancer. Initially, they gave her 6 months and she lived for 4 years. So she fought like hell. I do respect my mother, but also in hindsight, she played a lot of the BS games when it comes to divorce and custody and stuff that in hindsight ruined any chance of a relationship with our father, my brothers and I. So
yeah, that's a lot to deal with. You've seen or been through emotional abuse, physical abuse, a parent incarcerated, any mental illness, do you think?
I'm sure it's there in hindsight, never officially diagnosed.
Yeah, you're already halfway into the category of those ACEs, that list that pretty much proves out that you're going to have trouble as an adult. It's good to see that holds up.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Like if you could go back and fix that with all of them, do you think you would? Because I also think then you wouldn't be in a shower at 19 getting a girl pregnant.
Truth be told, in reality, no, because though it has been really rough. I mean, I lived more life by the age of like 15 than a lot of people. Yeah. I'm not going to say most. I've heard some of your episodes, but a lot. Like I had a lot of death, a lot of loss, and a lot of just emotional trauma by the age of 14, 15.
Yeah.
That most don't hit until they're like 40 or 50. But in hindsight, I mean, it made me who I am today. So as cliche as that may sound, yeah, I would love to change some of my mistakes, but it's gotten me where I'm at. I'm doing pretty well.
I told a story to Arden last night from my late teens, and I realized like this is too far generationally like removed. Like it sounds insane to her. And I was like, but that was like nobody thought that was even weird when it happened.
Yep.
It's interesting how things morph over time. I heard you say something earlier that like it sounds like you listen to the podcast too.
Yes, I tried to.
But you listen to it just to try to understand what Kelly's listening to?
Initially, yes. Again, when she found your podcast a few years back, I was still in just the bad place of not really listening to my wife and just being a mess. But after listening to a few episodes and trying to just check that box of like, oh, she suggested I listen to it. I listen to a few, say you listen to it, whatever, carry on. Like, it actually ended up being very interesting. And little did I know was going to be so helpful because now Madden is a diabetic.
Yeah, you're ahead now.
I've been crushing or had crushed the pro tips. I will say Bold Beginnings was nice, but also having been with Kelly for so long and kind of having that, I did not listen to all the Bold Beginnings.
You're probably past it already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the pro tip series, I think I've listened to it twice already and still about to start a third time just to pick up what I missed.
It helps, right? Every time, like you feel like you add a little something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're building blocks slowly.
And it's funny too, because I'm somebody I got to listen to and or do something multiple times to truly understand it. Mm-hmm. And Kelly at first was getting frustrated. She's like, wait, you only listened to 2 episodes? I'm like, yes, but I've listened to it 2 or 3 times now.
But I really get it. I get the 2 episodes
like,
I've listened to.
It sank in now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I can move forward. Yeah, listen, I'm doing my best. I'm a boy. I don't know if you remember all of our history, but I'm trying.
Exactly.
I honestly had a thought recently where I thought, like, I think I'm going to go re-listen to it. Like, and I haven't heard it in a long time, which is weird because I intersect with it every, like, hour. I'm always, like, leaving lists for people or, like, hey, you should try this or, maybe give this one a try. But I think, like, I should go back and listen to it again. It's been a little while now, so.
Might as well. I mean, you got lots of free time on your hands.
Oh, so I'm just sitting around staring. So
yeah, exactly.
No,
come on.
I'll do it in my ear, while I'm doing something else. I just think that it's important because I think it's possible I'll hear things and think, oh, I should have said that differently, or maybe there's a different way to approach this in the future. So,
I mean, I've heard you say that on episodes before, like, oh yeah, I talked about this one thing. You know what? I should have done it like this, and then a couple episodes later, I'm going to phrase it this way, and you fix that. So
I'm trying to grow. So your other 2 kids, are you now like worried that they might get type 1?
No, I can comfortably say no. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling. That being said, we do get them checked every, 2 years? I think they check for antibodies or every once a year or something like that.
Okay.
Just to monitor it.
Right.
And see.
Is there any autoimmune in your family on your side?
Not to my knowledge, but that is stuff that was never discussed growing up.
Nobody's going to tell you if they had Hashimoto's or celiac or something like that.
Yeah, that's not how it works in my family.
Yeah. Arthritis? Even that's a thing you might see. Like, did you see any?
Yeah, my mom had that, or so she said. Granted, it turned out my mom was a pill popping addict by the end. So
sorry about that.
Hey, like I said, it's life. Things happen.
But you said you don't drink or do drugs. Like, do you think that's because of like watching? Are you having like an adverse reaction to your mom, like saying, "No, I'm not going to do that"?
No, because I didn't realize my mom was a drug addict until much older. Like she had already passed away, and then it was like 2 years after that it just clicked one day. Really, it started with the alcohol. So, like I said, I come from a very large family. I was always selected as the DD, but also I have a lot of raging alcoholics in my family. And so anytime it was like a family barbecue or whatever it would be, I would just see the hot mess that everybody was and just think to myself from a young age, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for this.
Yeah, I'm no thanks. And then drugs kind of just, you know how it went. Hey, drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. And then as I grew older, I just realized it wasn't my style.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm glad for you. That's a big possible burden that a lot of people deal with that you don't have to. So imagine the one addiction with another one.
Yeah. Compounding addictions.
Would have been not great. Let me kind of throw it back to you for a second. So you did me a solid. Like I was looking for some extra recordings and you jumped right in, which is awesome. I appreciate it. But when you did that, what was your intention? Like, I mean, there's no world where you were like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on a podcast about diabetes that my wife listens to and tell them about my porn addiction. Like that wasn't in your head, right?
No, I came into this with a clean slate. I even asked Kelly last night. I was like, should I vaguely attempt to have like bullet points to talk about? She's like, nah, you're much better on the fly. Just go with the flow of the conversation. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. She's like, don't plan.
No. Do not plan anything. It will be an absolute mess.
Oh, that's awesome. So what do you think moving forward looks like for you guys? Like not with your relationship stuff. I hope well for you there. Like I feel like, we've talked that through, but like diabetes wise, do you see yourself being involved with her more? No. Do you see yourself having an involvement with your son? Like, what do you expect is going to be like to raise a kid for the next 10 or 15 years with type 1? What are you thinking is going to be your responsibility? So
we've actually talked about that. We actually just talked about it a few days ago.
She got you talking about everything now, Robert.
Hey, I can't shut up. I never shut up. Okay. I'm always talking.
Good.
Where was I going to go? Thanks, Scott. So I had asked her, I'm still going to, I don't want to say be hands off with hers because I'm still going to understand and build an understanding and develop all of that. But I'm not going to be somebody who is micromanaging hers, for example, because she is a grown ass woman and can make her own damn choices. That being said, I did bring it to her attention that I am going to try to learn enough and have a comfortable enough base to manage Madden's. So therefore it is not a burden on her shoulders, or that she doesn't feel like she has to be the one to do it. Because we've actually talked about, I have brought it up to her in the past, like, hey, you are very knowledgeable. Why don't you go back to school and be somebody who helps, manage other type 1s and just not be a doctor per se, but maybe a nurse or somebody that helps do that. And she talked about that she's had friends that have done that, and the burnout is just too much trying to manage your own and also everybody else's. And so I applied that to even our son, that I'm not saying you won't do a good job, Kel, you're going to do a great job, but also I don't want you to feel like you have to be the one to do it, and that you can feel comfortable enough. And she does that to
pass it to you.
Yeah. That I'm going to be there and I'm going to be able to do it. And it's not required by you.
So out of concern for her, like you don't want her to burn out, because I imagine your expectation would be is that she'll then focus on your son and then not take care of herself.
Which has already kind of happened, not to the extent of emergency calls or anything like that, but her numbers went from a really steady line to pretty all over the place just because her focus has been on Madden's and, bolusing for his meals and not doing it for hers until she's already started eating or done with the meal and then doing it. It's trying to alleviate that as much as possible.
I feel like I remember her saying that when I spoke to her. And well, that's really thoughtful of you, man.
I tried.
Yeah, no. I think it's obvious from our conversation that you've been trying the whole time, even though you didn't know how to try for a while. Now you do. You're making a lot of good decisions from what I'm hearing. So you figure if you can be as good at it as she could have been, then either, what do you think? You think that his diabetes becomes your thing and she does hers, or do you just think you split it up more? Like, I don't know what you're working like are you out of the house during the day, or where are people?
So don't let me forget that point. You just asked the question. So it's funny, with me being in the Army for the moment, I actually live in Texas and they still live in Florida.
Oh,
it's a whole thing. I'm here in Florida until Tuesday, and then I fly back to Texas, and I don't know when I'll be coming back.
I didn't realize you were still in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually, so I guess to summarize that, I may not be here soon. I'm supposed to have back surgery on May 8th, artificial disc replacement.
Oh, they might discharge you?
So I may get medically discharged. I may not. We have to figure it out, but it's a lot in the air, limbo.
What would you do for work if you got discharged?
I don't know, whatever job is higher.
What do you do in the Army? Why are you laughing?
Because I get this a lot, and it's hard. It's not hard to explain, but my brain then goes hyper-focused. So I do air defense artillery. In short, I sit in a box with computers and would operate in a live situation, radars and interceptors. I work on the biggest system that the Army has to offer currently. It would focus more on like ICBMs or nuclear bomb type things, or really, really long range missiles. If somebody was to shoot one of those, I would be the person who would try to intercept it, in short.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope you have a lot of luck. I hope are you good at it? How do you know if you're good at it?
I'm still alive.
You have not actually intercepted an ICBM missile, though, right?
No. And if I had, I wouldn't be able to tell you about it.
Yeah, no, I would imagine, obviously. But like, my point is like, I feel like that would have got out. What do you? It's all like simulation training and stuff like that.
Pretty much. We do live fires for just testing capabilities, but never actual live scenario, obviously, like you just said. But yeah, just simulation training. I think I'm pretty good. I always get good scores, if you will, on evaluations. But
I want you to be. I know I want you to be good at it. That's
yeah. You would hope.
Do you know, this is like a complete left turn, but since you brought this up, do you know any guys that fly drones? I'm beginning to hear that it's as hard on them as people who actually hold a gun and point it at somebody.
I do, actually. I know a couple of them, and it is very difficult for some. There is I'm not a doctor, so somebody goes and Googles it. Don't leave Scott a bad review for my lack of knowledge.
Thank you, Robert.
But there is I don't want to say special, but like a different kind of PTSD I've known that is developed in some drone pilots I know.
Yeah.
Whereas, you're looking at basically a video game screen, for lack of a better term, and just watching people and things disappear.
Yeah.
To not put it too crude, it can be a challenge.
I would imagine. I don't see how that would have a different impact on you than literally standing in front of somebody and taking their life with a gun or your hands or something like that. So, man, yeah, that's something else. Well, you think you could still do that like after the surgery though, right?
Technically, no, because there's a lot that goes into it in terms of setting up the equipment and a lot of like heavy lifting you have to do and all that. And I will have those restrictions.
Oh, gosh.
For example, like as soon as I moved to Texas, they took me out of my primary job and put me in operations. So now all I do is sit at a desk and a computer and work with my bosses on operating things. I know that's very vague. Yeah.
No, I understand what you mean though. So is it your goal to get back to the box you sit in, or
no,
you don't think it's going to happen?
No. That's being said. Okay. So this might get some people going. I love the Army. The Army has provided us so many opportunities. I would be living in the POS little farm town I grew up in, the same dead end job everybody else has, if I didn't join the Army.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I am also done with the Army.
Okay.
It has broken my body and my mind almost beyond repair. It has almost ruined my marriage multiple times. It has made it to like, I can't even play with my kids right now because my back is messed up. And that is, for example, this almost made me cry the other day. My middle child, Amelia, whispered something in the back of the car when we were driving home. Actually, it was while you were recording with Kelly. And Bailey yelled at her, my oldest. And I said, "What happened?" And Bailey goes, "Amelia said, you just use your back as an excuse that it hurts so you don't have to play with us." And that broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because for years, I've just kind of put up with it. And now it's to the point it's
a real problem. You want to get it fixed and move on and get your life going in the private sector somehow.
Yeah. I mean, my oldest is 10 and she's moved like four times. And it's really hard on them. They've expressed they want me to get out. They're tired of moving and making new friends, and they're all young.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope the procedure goes easily and that you're back at it. Is it lower back?
Yeah, it's L5S1.
It's just completely deteriorated?
Yeah, there's nothing left of it.
I almost said something real hippy dippy to you, but I'm literally afraid I'm going to be judged by the people listening. But not that I don't think there's something wrong with your back, but I would implore you to read a book by John Sarno called Healing Back Pain Before You Have Surgery.
Okay.
That's all.
Healing back pain.
Yeah.
All right.
John Sarno. I don't say that, it can't fix a physical problem with you, but it, in my experience, can help you think about your pain in a way that might be valuable.
That's fair.
Yeah. So anyway. For anybody out there, actually, though, he's got a book called, I think, Mind Body Connection that I found very valuable in my life. It's not a cult or anything like that.
Hey, what if it is? I'm in. Whatever.
If it works, like, what do I care? Yeah. Tom Cruise seems happy.
Hey, exactly.
Although I don't think his kids talk to him, but I don't know. I only know what I read. Listen, for a short guy, he's done really well. I don't have a lot where I need to feel bad for Tom Cruise, I don't think.
Nope.
Nor you. Have you ever been in an active war zone?
With bullets flying, no. With artillery shells falling, yes.
So you've been like, what do they call it? Like in theater doing your job?
Yes, twice.
Wow.
Only twice.
It still seems like a lot, but impactful in a way that's hard to put into words, like a thing that stays with you forever? Or is it more because it's so like computerized? Is it more removed now? You wouldn't know because I mean, it's not like you were in Iwo Jima or anything like that. But like,
yeah, right, yeah, nothing like that. And so my second tour was over in Israel right before everything popped off, and over there's always rockets flying, and I remember the first time being over there and shells started falling, and I perked up like, what is happening? And everybody else was just like still doing their work. Yeah, didn't even phase them. And it occurred to me, you know what? Just ignore it. If it's your time, it's your time. And that's just kind of the approach you take. You can't panic. You can't freak out. Hey, if one happens to find me today, one, Kelly gets a fat paycheck. Two, she gets to find somebody better. And three, I don't have to be here no more. So here we go.
My back's going to stop hurting. The kids are going to have money.
Exactly.
But I love I love the way of thinking about that like, if it finds me, it finds me is worry's a waste of imagination. Like, if you're there, you're there. Like, so it's either going to happen or it's not. Pretty
much. Yep.
And you're saying that the people there are so accustomed to it, like in that entire region, that they don't even move when it happens.
Pretty much. I mean, they'll get off the street, get inside, but otherwise it's, and granted, again, this is before everything kicked off over there. This was 2020 to 2021 when it was standard, if you will. Yeah. Now, obviously, it's completely different. But yeah, I mean, hey, get off the street, get inside the store, maybe hunker down. Those of us that were at work at our PAT site, just keep working. You don't even have to go to the bunkers or anything because they're not going to do anything to stop it. So might as well be productive.
Yeah. And then just you wait a little bit and then just back at it. People duck into stores and then it stops and they keep going.
Pretty much.
Wow. That points to a perspective that obviously we don't have here for sure.
Correct.
Yeah. If that happened here, it would shut you off for a very long time. Interesting.
Yes.
It's very interesting. Well, I appreciate, I don't want to say something like trite, like thanks for your service, but I appreciate what you're doing. And I hope you're able to like break free of the pain and get your life going in a different direction. Do you have any idea what you'd like to, like, it's because you have like that small town vibe. You're like, I'll just get a job. But like, I mean, do your skills translate to something?
Kind of. It's a very niche thing. It's pretty much just defense contracting. And truth be told, I actually tried to get out of the Army last year, write out my contract. I was done with it. I sent out over 500 applications over 9 months, and I had 3 job interviews and 1 job offer that took me overseas for 16 months. And I considered that one, but then health insurance was going to be an issue, especially with 2 type 1s in our house. Kind of need good insurance.
So you stayed in for another year to try again?
I actually signed for 4 years. And it's funny because my back wasn't even really the issue. And as soon as I moved to Texas, my Army doctor looked at it. The first time I ever met him, I might offend you, I might not, but you're worthless to me. And I said, yeah, that's true.
Because of your back?
because of the back. And then immediately he was like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. You've been managing this for almost a decade. The only thing left is surgery to try to fix it. And that may not even work. So we'll give it a shot. And that's how we ended up here.
And it's pain, right? Pain's the issue.
Yeah. I mean, just a couple of days ago, I couldn't feel my legs. They were completely numb from waist down. I could still walk, which was weird, but it was more of a foot drag than a walk.
Wow.
It's just something different every day.
No, I'm sorry. No, back pain's terrible. I know. I genuinely think you should check out the book that I told you. That doctor's, I think he's passed now, but like I said, John Sarno, like look into his books and see if you find one that kind of speaks to you. There's some of them are shorter. I think they're very worth reading, and it might be helpful for you.
I'll do that. Absolutely.
Awesome. Robert, have I know I'm going to say if is there anything we haven't talked about, but you didn't really come on here to talk about anything. So for a guy who didn't have a plan, you talked about a lot. I just want to say
that's true. No, I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't really come with a plan. I was hoping to learn something potentially, but again, I'm not.
Do you want to ask questions about something? Like I'm
not
here.
Really.
No, awesome.
Okay, well, I'm sure there will be, and you know what? A day or two from now, I might think, oh, damn, I should have asked.
I should have asked him about this.
Yeah, but initially, it was just maybe he'll say a little nugget of knowledge or two that I didn't think about.
Dude, I might have if you didn't lead with porn addiction, but like, I mean,
sorry. You asked.
You put it into a place I couldn't leave. Like, what was I supposed to do? I have so many questions still, but out of deference to your situation and your new position in life, and the fact that this is a diabetes podcast, I'm not going to ask them.
I know. Believe me, like 10 minutes ago, it crossed my mind. I'm like, dude, we have not talked about diabetes or anything at all.
Well, no. Listen, you might think that, but what I think we talked about is you're not the only dad with a problem who has a kid with diabetes, and Kelly's not the only lady married to you. You know what I mean? Big picture. Yeah. It's a really valuable story because the thing you brought up, man, is super serious. It wasn't easy to get rid of. It plagued you for a long time. It caused you a significant problem personally, emotionally, with your marriage on top of all that. Like, well, you came from a tough family, right? And you're doing a lot better. And to me, I think these people listening need to hear somebody who maybe went through something more difficult than the thing they're going through and came out the other side of it. And otherwise, hopefully just everybody heard talk to each other, because that's what I'm hoping came out of this, is that people understand that if you're not talking to each other, this isn't going to work out.
Facts.
Yeah, that's all. No, so we talked about a lot, and it'll help people with their diabetes plenty. Don't you worry. Seriously.
That's fair.
I appreciate it very much.
Of course.
Can you hold on 1 second for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Excellent. Thanks for tuning in today, and thanks to Medtronic Diabetes for sponsoring this episode. We've been talking about Medtronic's MiniMed 780G system today, an automated insulin delivery system that helps make diabetes management easier day and night. Whether it's their meal detection technology or the Medtronic extended infusion set, it all comes together to simplify life with diabetes. Go find out more at my link, medtronicdiabetes.com/juicebox. The episode you just enjoyed was sponsored by the twiist AID system powered by Tidepool. If you want a commercially available insulin pump with twiist lube that offers unmatched personalization and precision for peace of mind, you want twiist. twiist.com/juicebox. I'd like to thank the blood glucose meter that my daughter carries, the Contour NextGen blood glucose meter. Learn more and get started today at contournext.com/juicebox. And don't forget, you may be paying more through your insurance right now for the meter you have than you would pay for the Contour NextGen in cash. There are links in the show notes of the audio app you're listening in right now, and links at juiceboxpodcast.com to Contour and all of the sponsors. I can't thank you enough for listening. Please make sure you're subscribed or following in your audio app. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Hey kids, listen up. You've made it to the end of the podcast. You must have enjoyed it. You know what else you might enjoy? The private Facebook group for the Juicebox Podcast. I know you're thinking, Facebook, Scott, please. But no, Beautiful group, wonderful people, a fantastic community. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes on Facebook. Of course, if you have Type 2 or you're touched by diabetes in any way, you're absolutely welcome. It's a private group, so you'll have to answer a couple of questions before you come in. We'll make sure you're not a bot or an evildoer. Then you're on your way. You'll be part of the family. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you've noticed that the podcast sounds better and you're thinking like, how does that happen? What you're hearing is Rob at Wrong Way Recording doing his magic to these files. So if you want him to do his magic to you, wrongwayrecording.com. You got a podcast? You want somebody to edit it? You want Rob.